Here's the audience, 8 people. There we go. Ready.
All right, ready? All right, I'm Lance. I'm going to do my speech on human trafficking. Slavery. First thing that is thought of when this word is spoken is most likely African American slaves working on a plantation for a wealthy slave owner. Technically, slavery ended in the 1800s, and this is true when speaking of traditional slavery. Unfortunately, slavery is well and alive today, and it is thriving. It is actually doing better than thriving. Slavery today has reached record numbers that the world has never seen before, and there are many more slaves today than ever before. But before I go any further, I just want to specify that speaking under traditional idea of slavery and speaking of human trafficking. Human trafficking is a widespread epidemic happening everywhere from as far as China all the way to right here in the United States. As a matter of fact, the U.S. appeared on the annual Trafficking in Persons report for the first time in 2010. Countries are ranked on a tier system, being 3 tiers in total. A Tier 1 ranking indicates that a state government has recognized the problem of human trafficking, has made efforts to address the issue, and meets the Torture Victim Protection Act. Minimum standards. A country with a Tier 2 rating has not met the standards, but has made efforts to do so, while a Tier 3 rating means that the country has not yet met the minimum standards and has not even attempted to do so. The United States received a Tier 1 rating. Although human trafficking branches out into many different crimes, the overwhelming majority of humans that are trafficked are for the purpose of sex trade. 80% of humans that are trafficked are exploited as sex slaves, while 17% are trafficked to perform forced labor, such as in sweatshops or homes. The human trafficking market is global and is a plague. There is an estimated 20.9 million men, women, and children trafficked for various reasons in the world today, 80% being sexual. Human trafficking for the sex trade is easily the most prevalent reason that people are kidnapped or lured into this. Webster states that sex trafficking is 90% women and children. Most women are lured into sex slavery by promise of a good paying job in another country and have no idea what they are getting themselves into. They are more often than not met by an escort upon arrival, and there is no escape after that. However, women are even falsely proposed to by men with plans of selling her into slavery. In the poorer regions of the world, children are even sold to human traffickers by their parents to earn money. After being forced into prostitution, women are often held on a debt bondage, which means they must earn a certain amount before being released, which most often far exceeds the initial dollar amount paid. There are, however, other reasons that men, women, and children are trafficked every day around the world. Labor trafficking is another example of how modern-day slavery exists within the U.S. and worldwide. Project.org lists that most of these hostages are forced to serve in homes as domestic servants, farm workers coerced through violence as they harvest crops, or factory workers held in inhumane conditions. Globally, the International Labor Organization estimates that there is nearly 14.2 million people who are trapped in forced labor organizations such as agriculture, construction, domestic work, and manufacturing. Another result of human trafficking that most don't think of is child soldiering. Child soldiering is a global phenomenon, most problematic in conflict areas such as Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Most of these child soldiers have been forced to commit atrocities such as, but not limited to, murder and rape against their communities and families. After these children have been used or have served their purpose, they attempt to return home, psychologically scarred beyond repair, and are most often rejected by their communities. Human trafficking affects more than 30 million people combined today, including both sex trafficking and forced labor. Although it is such a big problem worldwide, why is there not more of a conscious effort to put a stop to it? This is the reason I chose to speak on this today, because human sex trafficking and forced labor has resulted in slavery all over again, but much worse. That's it. Up there.